All right, hello everyone. Today we're back with something different. Today we're not going to talk about creepypastas that used to scare me or anything, though I might make a part two because I remembered some that scared me. But anyway, today we're here to talk about the latest Chainsaw Man chapter because if you didn't know, I'm a Chainsaw Man fan. And last week's chapter, well, this week's chapter, it's kind of nutty. So, spoiler warning: if you're not caught up in Chainsaw Man, do not watch this video like I do with JJK videos. The thumbnail will just be a picture of season 1, so you won't be spoiled by the thumbnail, but obviously in the video you will be spoiled if you're not caught up. So there goes your spoiler warning, and yeah, let's discuss. Okay, so Denji being in the hospital, being knocked out for a week, and us not knowing what's going on with Nayuta. It's pretty scary, since last chapter it seemed like Nayuta is going to die, but we don't know since we switched perspectives. And I'm very scared on what's gonna happen, since I'm not the big. I mean, Nayuta's fine. She's a funny, goofy character, but I'm just scared that like we're gonna get part 1 all over again, to where like someone important that we like is going to die. And I can see it being Nayuta because this is Chainsaw Man we're talking about, and you know, the author loves taking away our favorite characters. I'm still sad over the death of Aki and Power because I loved those two, but you know, it sucks that they both died. There are theories saying that they're gonna come back, which I hope they don't, because if Aki and Power do come back, then it's gonna take away from everything that happened during season 1. And it would take away from the emotion that their deaths had. Since, I'm not gonna lie, when Aki died, I cried. I cried because I just wasn't expecting him to die. And just the snowball fight, the way they did it was so beautiful. And for like him to come back to life, it would take all that away. So I always use this example, spoiler for Fairy Tail. It's like when Gajiel quote unquote died in Fairy Tail, but he really didn't die, he came back to life, because Gajiel is one of my favorite characters in Fairy Tail. And so when he quote unquote died, I was like, oh dude, they took away Gajiel, he died confessing his love to Levi, and then they squandered it by bringing him back to life. Still mad about it to this day. There should have been more deaths in Fairy Tail during the final arc, but that's another can of worms. So I don't want Aki or Power to come back to life, as harsh as that sounds. I don't want them to come back to life, since that would take away from everything that happened in season 1. Anywho's, we're not talking about season 1 no more. We're now back to season 2, and yeah, Denji being dismantled essentially. It's really bad because I was not expecting that to be what happened during this chapter. I just thought it was gonna be Denji waking up and Nayuta being there or something. I don't know, but yeah, Denji being actually taken away and like having them like try to cut him up essentially. It's not good. Poor Denji. Guys, been through a lot. He's been through a lot. Like, man, you know, he went from dude who had to like sell his balls and other stuff to now falling in love with a not to be a groomer, having to eat said groomer, losing his friends that he made along the way, and now all of this. Denji's had it pretty rough. And them doing that, and the chapter ending with who we don't know who it is. It just shows a pair of shoes, which people think it's Riz, and I would like to think that it is, but it could be Riz or Asa. The last time we saw Asa, she was falling out of a building without shoes, so I don't know, she could have found a pair or something. And this honestly reminds me of like back in the day of Naruto, to where it was like during the final arc of Naruto, to where I think Sasuke just got stabbed by Madara, and the chapter ended with like dogs, and people were like, who could that be? Could it be Jugo? Could it be someone else? It was Kabuto, but it just it reminds me of that, since we didn't know who it was. And yeah, honestly, I'm fine with it being Riz or Asa. I don't care who, just please save Denji, whoever it is. Please, I don't want Denji to die by the end of the series, because I would be so sad if Denji died. Though, I mean, after reading Fire Punch, it's a possibility. But I don't know. Chainsaw Man has just been really good recently, and this was a really good, but just like because usually I'm asleep when like the chapters come out, so I woke up. And usually when you wake up, you can't see. So I'm reading the chapter in bed, and when I saw that panel of Denji being like operated on, I'm like, no. I didn't think it was gonna happen. I was just shocked. I was like, oh my god. Like, no, bro. And like, I honestly don't know what's gonna happen. Which is the beauty of a Chainsaw Man. As much as I love JJK, the beauty of Chainsaw Man not having spoilers is that as long as you don't go on Twitter, like, before you read the chapter, you'll be fine since no one spoils Chainsaw Man. But JJK, if you're not caught up and if you go on Twitter, that's the first thing that's trending in their leaks. So there'll be people talking about the leaks. Yeah. I'm just so worried because I think if it is Asa, then oh no, hell's about to break loose because Asa is the war devil. If it's Riz, I honestly don't even know. Like, I mean, Riz could blow up people, but she may have like learned some new devil power. She may have like learned some new stuff because she's still alive, I believe. Because I think this is gonna sound cringe, but on her wiki page it says alive, and the dead characters on there, they say dead. So I imagine she's still alive. Or hold on, plot twist. What if it's not Riz or Asa and it's Kenobi? What if? Because we have not seen Kenobi since part 1, and people are anticipating her return. There are people who are making theories about like Kenobi being the Death Devil, which would be a crazy plot twist, because it would go from Kenobi being like the wimp of the show to being like, you're the final villain, you little fucker. So I wouldn't mind it, but I in actuality it probably is Asa or Riz. I don't think it's Kenobi. We're probably gonna see Kenobi later. Possibly we might see her like help out Denji. We might even see Kasakabe too, because we haven't seen Kasakabe since part 1, 2. So could be either one of them. I'm still just shell shocked by this Denji being operated on. It's so bad. Also, going back to a few chapters, I don't like Big Boob Man. What's his name? Bargain? I hate him so much. Like, he burned down Denji and Asa's house. He burned down their dogs. And I'm not talking about those, I'm talking about their animals. He burned those down. I meant to make a video on that, but at the time I didn't feel like it. But, man. And by the way, I didn't know that he was in part 1. I didn't realize this until like, I think I saw like something being about like how he was in part 1. And I was like, no way. But yeah, no, he was in part 1, and he's making a great villain. I just don't like him. Like how you're supposed to not like villains. But yeah, Chainsaw Man is getting pretty interesting, and I'm very scared for next week's chapter. I hope no one important dies. I hope whoever is on their way to save Denji. I mean, they're not gonna save him chapter 1. Like, next chapter is not. They're not gonna break in the thing and save him. It's gonna take a little bit of time. But I do hope that Denji lives. I hope Asa survives too. I know a lot of people wish she would die, but I hope she doesn't. She's a goofy little character. She's a goofball. I hope Nayuta doesn't die either. Honestly, I just hope no one important in Chainsaw Man Part 2 dies, but it's gonna happen, and depending on who it is, I might cry. I'm not gonna lie. Like, if it is Asa, I might cry depending on how they do it. Which, if Asa does in fact die, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be really bad. They are going to milk that scene so hard. If it's Nayuta, maybe not. Maybe I wouldn't cry, but I don't know. Nayuta's grown on me since part 1. Since in part 1, she was like, she didn't have personality, but in part 2, she has personality. She's funny. She's a little prankster. If Denji dies, oh no, I'm gonna break down. Since we've known Denji since part one, it would just be so sad if like the main character of Chainsaw Man dies. So yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens. But do any of y'all read Chainsaw Man? I'm very curious to see how many people would read Chainsaw Man, because it's very popular, but people might be waiting for like season 2. I mean, sorry, the movie. So I don't know if like y'all read the manga, but if you do, definitely let me know, and what were your thoughts on this chapter? Because I was shell shocked, as you can tell. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video whenever I decide to talk about anime or some other topic.